The following podcast contains violent scenes, hard drug use, scenes of a sexual nature, and flashing images. Now, there's none of that. It does, however, feature strong language. So if you're listening with small children, kindly tell them to the dickheads. You're listening to the Scarf Bagara War. For county fans, by county fans.
Oh, great flick up by Alan Armstrong. Oh, what a beauty! Oh, what a beauty! I waited all my life for that. What a screamer! An absolute screamer!
Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bagara War, the podcast for county fans by county fans. I'm Nick Lee, safe in the knowledge that our UEFA qualified coach won't be going into the playoffs without a recognised defensive midfielder. You can see what we did there, can't you? That was nice, that. Joining me this week to pick at the scab of all things county, the two men who need no introduction, but I've written one anyway. Co-founder, co-host, co-op shopper, it's Russ Johnson. How's tricks, Russ?
Very good, thank you very much.
Do you shop at the co-op ever?
Sometimes.
Yes, it's all right, isn't it? It's
good.
It's not good for a big shop, but, you know, for bits.
Yeah, for bits and bats, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
That was good. That was 8 out of 10. Nice one. He knows some words and he's not afraid to use them, and sometimes in the right order, if you're lucky. It's Dave Long. Hello, Dave. You good, mate?
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Good. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, lads. It's bloody hot.
Isn't it?
I think it's time someone needs to make a stand. I really didn't want to do it, but needs must. It's me. Right, I'm off to put a couple of magnums on my sweaty tits. Over to you, Russ.
Right, well, we're going to cover the usual stuff. Look at Yeovil last Sunday. It was Sunday, wasn't it?
It was Saturday, mate.
Oh, was it Saturday?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it was bank holiday, wasn't it? And I'm all over the shop.
Finger on the pulse.
So we'll cover that game. We'll look forward to the playoffs. So obviously we play the winners of Bromley and Hartlepool. We'll cover the awards which happened recently and sort of state our own awards as well that we published. We'll talk about the free game for the playoffs, head of recruitment, the fact that we got 2 weeks off and how does that play. We'll cover a bit about the lad from Ashton. Sorry, don't know his name. And then we might even touch about the England squad and the Euro podcast that we've got coming up very, very soon. So, run titles.
And when you're a massive narcissist and a bit pompous like me, then it also helps as well.
I'm fully on board. I'm a brand bitch now.
I mean, you know, like people are trying to out-poppy each other.
It smelt like egg and tasted like cider.
I've even shouted at ball boys.
That's the type of mad arsery that I can't get behind.
I've learnt that Dave wasn't part of the move to get us away from Edgeley Park.
We couldn't afford an engraved carriage clock for you, so here's that bird from the Cheadle End full of bird shit.
In a week where we lost long-running hospital soap opera Holby City, we watched a lot of great county at Edgeley Park.
Right then, Yeovil on Saturday. I thought it was Sunday. I don't know why. It's because we were Sunday the week before, were we? Actually, know what? I can't even remember.
No, it was Saturday the week before, mate.
Was it? Was it? Oh, it was Woking, wasn't it? It was Sunday the week before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was Saturday that week as well, mate.
No, we played talking.
I know. I just thought I'd wind you up. Could have kept this going all night then.
How do these Premier League fans do it? You know where the ones that are actually going to the matches.
Yeah, I couldn't be doing with going to a game on a Sunday lunchtime is my worst nightmare for a game. I couldn't be doing with that.
Yeah,
a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Not every week.
No,
once in a while.
Well, imagine Sunday lunchtime, and it's a Torquay away, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously you're going to stay over, aren't you? But if you are travelling down on the day, that's some trek for a Sunday for a lunchtime kickoff, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, we digress. Back to the Oval match. 1-0 win. Rooney deflected shot. Quite emotionally charged, I'd say, before the match. Because of the Lee Collins memorials. But fair play to our lads. We managed to come through it and nick the win.
Yeah, I think Dave should go first here because you two actually watched the game. I had the benefit of Radio Manchester coverage with friend of the podcast Phil Brennan.
Yes, I believe Phil was doing the commentary.
Yeah, which was very good to hear.
Yeah. I think we can safely pigeonhole that one in. We did just enough. Yeah. It wasn't spectacular, but if we'd have been offered a 1-0 win before the game, I think we'd have all taken it, wouldn't we? So can't really complain about that.
Was it a thuggish Yeovil performance again? Because that's what I was led to believe from the commentary.
Not really. I mean, it did kind of boil over towards the end of the first half, didn't it?
Yeah.
And one of their players was on the yellow and absolutely clattered Rooney in the second half, and probably lucky to stay on, really. But other than that, I don't think it was.
No, I agree. I don't think it was thuggish. They were dogged. I mean, we just had too much for them in the end, and I think they played on the occasion a bit. I would say. I think I honestly think that if they hadn't have had that occasion around them, we would have won by more.
Yeah,
I think we'd have stepped up and our class would have shone through. But they did sort of give them a little bit extra. But you could tell we were head and shoulders above them.
Yeah. I think we were overall. Yeah, they had a few moments either side of half time, didn't they? Forced Inchliff into a decent save and then hit the bar, didn't they? In fact, Inchliff was probably our best player, which says a lot about how the game went. Really, I think we just had enough, but they had a few decent chances and he played quite well. Yeah,
the only moment that concerned me too much really was the one that hit the bar. It beat Inchliff all ends up, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I I'd nipped out for a cig and I was coming back after half time, and then fucking flash score went off, didn't it? With one each, and I was like, yeah, thanks for that. So missed that one as well. But then it come up correction. I was like, that's okay then.
So some might say it serves you right for being a grown man watching a football game and not remembering to switch your notifications off, but I couldn't possibly comment.
To be fair, it was on silent, so I just looked at my phone and it had popped up. So I always have it on silent. When I'm fucking mithering me.
Yeah, same. Silent and do not disturb permanently, me. Yeah.
Well, a couple of things I noticed. How dry was that pitch? And Russ, you will obviously watch the game, so you might have noticed that. But the ball was like a fucking beach ball, wasn't it? It was just bouncing all over the place.
That was honestly my first thought watching the highlights was about the pitch. Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Yeah,
they did sprinkler it before the match and during half time as well, but it still held up in the corners, didn't it?
Yeah, it was just seemed to be sort of bouncing around a lot and didn't really help the sort of flow of the game. The second thing I picked up was how shit was that camera angle on the stream.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
it was giving me a headache.
They've only had about 25 games to get it right, haven't they? And when they switched to that kind of wide angle, it was all right. That was all right. It's like a normal sort of TV broadcast, but.
Well, I don't know, because when he switched to the wide angle one, I didn't know. I couldn't work out if somebody was operating that or it was trying to follow the ball with some sort of automation.
Yeah,
because it was just all over the place. So no matter which camera angle you were watching at, it was giving me a proper headache.
Well, that's why I didn't bother watching the stream, because I didn't have my seasickness tablets with me. So
yeah, it was the kind of ball tracking camera thing, wasn't it? Yeah, the wide one.
Good job there wasn't a bald linesman.
Sam Minim.
Yeah, I was going to say, just be stuck on right back for the whole match.
Maybe that's why Madden didn't play then.
But yeah, I mean, it pretty much, I wouldn't say played out the way that Dave from Glover's Cast told us last week, but you could certainly see they had a bit of a depleted squad, and then they were just running on fumes. I think loads of players that were leaving. It was their last game. Some that didn't didn't know if they were going to have contracts the next season, and then there was kids mixed into that as well. It was just all a bit surreal. Plus, you get the added thing of it being like a memorial to Lee Collins, and he played his last game against us. It just felt a bit odd. And then when the game did start, I don't know if it was different in the ground, and maybe Phil Brennan could tell us this, but it didn't feel like there was any atmosphere. If that was county, it'd have been bouncing, wouldn't it?
Well, I was going to remark on that because particularly like the first half an hour or so of the game, listening on Radio Manchester, the atmosphere did seem. I was quite impressed with the atmosphere, but maybe it was just where they were sat. You know, where their commentary setup is. I don't know, but that was the first thing I noticed was the difference with having fans in it and stuff. But like I said, it might just be a case of them being sat right next to the three people who were singing.
Yeah. I suppose if you mix in the last game of the season and they've got now to play for as well, you know, that kind of that feel to it. And once they sort of the adrenaline of the occasion has kind of worn off a little bit, as I think we saw towards the end of the game, it kind of went a bit flat, and that probably went in our favour really because you know we were content just to kind of sit on that 1-0 and catch them on the break.
Yeah. So that I mean, we did what we needed to do, basically, didn't we? And it's a good job, really, because Hartlepool won 4-0 in the end. Yeah. So that was crucial, which sets us up nicely with a home tie against Bromley or Hartlepool a week on
Sunday. This one is on a Sunday, Ross.
Right.
Oh, it's on a Saturday. This one.
I wish it bloody was. What with England kicking off at 2.
Yeah,
we best get it done in 90 minutes, lads.
Yeah, we will do.
Otherwise, it's going to be a multi-screen scenario. Sheznick. The missus don't know yet. I mean, one of the screens will be hers. It'll be her iPad, but you know.
Oh, of course. Do you know what? I'm really sorry, Nick. I wondered what you're going on about then, because I was thinking, does he mean the scoreboard, or does he mean because we're going, aren't we? Me and Dave.
Well, I may well be. I don't know yet, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, let's hope you get a ticket, mate.
I hope so, but if not, I'll be quite content because I've seen what the weather's going to be like. So it's going to be barbecue. I might even get myself a little projector set up in the back garden.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I say this now, and I'll end up being banished to the bedroom like the fucking troll that I am again.
Sweating.
Yeah.
Really hot.
Yeah. Magnums under my tits.
Again.
Vimto ice pop up my ass.
Whatever you get to behind closed doors, mate. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, so it's Bromley or Hartlepool, isn't it? And I was looking at the form there. I mean, Bromley beat Hartlepool recently, and they're actually in better form than Hartlepool because I think they have lost 3 out of the last 5. Hartlepool, I think, something like that. And Bromley, I think they're unbeaten in 5. So not quite the form you might associate with a couple of teams that are, a few positions apart in the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bromley went there and won.
Well, Bromley making it to the playoffs has done a lot of damage to my obsessive compulsive side because other than them, it's all ex-league clubs in the playoffs.
It did look pretty impressive, didn't it? Halfway through
the
last game,
when Wrexham were getting there.
Yeah. I was thinking, apart from Sutton, that could have been a League One or League Two top of the table.
Well, you know what? When I saw that they were the 6 teams in the playoffs, I was like, "Fuck this! Let's just rent Villa Park out for a weekend and just have everyone play each other, have a big day out. Jobs are good.
Tournament.
Yeah. Winner stays on.
No, we should have all gone to the Isle of Man. That'd have been great.
Oh, yes, yeah. I'll go a beefer and stamp on a linesman.
I bet you 15, 20 years ago, I bet that was, with other league teams at the top of the National League, I bet that was sort of a League One, League Two type fixture list, wasn't it?
It does say it all about the gulf in the game, though. There was all talk a few years back about the Premier League doing a 39th game in Dubai. Well, we're on about doing like an extra game in the Isle of Man. That's the level that the National League's at now. For our worldwide TV following in the Isle of Man.
Is there any much point in talking about Bromley v Hartlepool, or should we just let it play out and then we can talk about it next week about who we've got?
Yeah, it's on the telly, isn't it? Anyway, is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. No, Sunday, 2:30.
Oh, that's a good time. I can get on board with that. Yeah, I'll stick that on then.
Yeah, I'll be
Notts,
watching it.
Notts County and Chesterfield on Saturday. Then is it? Is that?
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's earlier or later. But anyway, yeah,
4:00 that one.
Right. So some good matches to watch, and of course Euro starts very soon as well, which we'll come to shortly. Anything else from the Yeovil match or the playoff scenario?
Well, we're going into the playoffs on, as we said we wanted to do the other week. We've kept that unbeaten run going. We're going into the playoffs with the longest unbeaten run in the country, which you can't ask for any more than that, can you?
No, and I have thought about this. There's a positive and a minus to it, isn't there? The minus is, the negative is obvious that we've got to lose at some point. And if we'd have done it in a league match, maybe, well, we probably wouldn't have finished third, would we? But so that's the negative. The positive is Bromley and Hartlepool. I know you just said about their form. They're not going to want to play us.
No,
they're going to look at our form, 18 unbeaten, and think, shit, they're bad, aren't they?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the case, and they're coming to Edgeley Park, and there'll be 2,700 or something in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they probably won't want to play us, but then they'll look at our own form and go, "Fucking yes,
we're having it."
Yeah.
But no, you are right. Yeah, 18 unbeaten, and as I said on Twitter the other day, that's 3 games off half a season unbeaten.
Yeah.
Which is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? But, kind of, if you think back to the last game that we lost, which was Weymouth, and how low everyone was at that point, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? The kind of run we've gone on.
And that's purely league games as well. There's not been a single cup game in that run. Because often these type of runs do get padded out a bit with the odd cup game. But yeah, none of that. Just complete league form. Brilliant.
So yeah, it's looking good. Any standout performers from the Oval game then? Just as we sort of finish up on that.
Like I say, Inchliff played well. I'm trying to think. So yeah, probably wasn't that many. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like we said before, we did what we needed to. I don't think it was unspectacular. So I don't think anyone really stood out. At least not for me, anyway.
It's because John Rooney coming up big again now.
Yeah, definitely.
Which bodes well going into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And although it's a heavy deflection, but got to buy a ticket, haven't you?
Exactly. Oh, you've got to at least enter the ballot to buy a ticket.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. Okay, so the Player of the Year awards, not the Player of the Year awards, the Player awards, the awards for the end of season awards.
Stop Port's answer to the Oscars.
Exactly, yeah. They were announced today. Although I think they were done before the Oval match. Based on what was said. So,
you've been watching CSI again, haven't you, Russ?
Nothing gets past me, mate. Nothing gets past me.
What was it that gave it away? Was it Steve Bellis saying "Good luck at the Oval" at weekend? Was that right?
But we announced our own, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed it, and we said that Hogan was our Player of the Year and Cardwell was our Young Player of the Year, and we had our own views on our Goal of the Year. And I think mine was Dave. Yours was the Rochdale one, was it as well with me?
No,
was it not?
Kings Lynn, mate.
Oh, Kings Lynn. Okay. Which one did you pick, Nick?
I went Adam Thomas against Halifax in the end.
Oh, did you?
The only thing that swung it for me was the fact that was his weaker foot.
Yeah.
And it was a rocket.
Yeah, it must have been Scott Thompson that was with me with the Rochdale goal, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, the awards, I don't know if you want to talk about any of these in a bit more depth, but Young Player, George Haig and Graham White awards both went to Cardwell. Goal of the season was Rooney versus Dale. Player's player was joint between Hinchliffe and Rosedale. Player of the year was Liam Hogan, and ladies' player was Fran Davies.
Well, to touch on the awards that were voted for by the players, I think that's because they're two players, Hinchliffe and Rosedale, that I think have been unfairly criticised in some quarters this season. And I think that's a vindication of just how important they are for us, that their peers have voted them. You know, people who are with them day in, day out, not just for games, but at training as well, as part of the group, have voted for him. I think that's a fantastic endorsement.
Yeah, the player's player is normally the one most revered by the players themselves, isn't it? That's the one they want to win.
Yeah,
because it is your peers. Okay, player of the year is by the fans, isn't it? So that's probably going to be second, I guess. To them, but yeah, absolutely. I don't understand why anyone could consistently berate Hinchliffe or Rosedale. It's just based on the performances this season.
Yeah, completely agree. Both been immense. Again, in the case of Hinchliffe, season after season, thoroughly deserved.
And to be fair, there's other players that could have qualified for that if they played more games. I think if Jennings had been in the team from the start, because he was in and out at the start, wasn't he? I think if he'd played pretty much the full season, he'd have been well in contention for that. Minahan as well, I think. Southam Hales too. It took Southam Hales a while to get into the team, but when he did, fucking hell.
Yeah. It could have been really close, couldn't it? Could have been quite a few stepping up to receive that.
Alex Reid? Is he on 20-odd goals and he's not even got an award at the end of the season? Just goes to show like what a side has been built over the last 5 years, really.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any argument with Liam Hogan, is there? I know we said him ourselves, and obviously the supporters have voted for him as well. So, yeah, Player of the Year, Liam Hogan. I mean, it's totally deserved, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we only saw him a little bit last year, didn't we? Before the season ended, and it's just like he'd always been here this season. Such a great leader, such a confident player. When he plays with his head up and everything, and just leads that line really well. And obviously very comfortable on the ball as well. And such a valuable player for us,
and a great ambassador for the club as well.
Yeah,
I know that's not the most important thing, but it's certainly a nice little bonus to have. It's certainly something that we've looked to bear in mind when we've been recruiting players for the last few years. So
yeah. I mean, when he's your captain as well, so you kind of need that little bit extra, don't you?
Yeah.
From your captain, you need that little bit of charisma and everything, and which he has. So.
The only thing is, I thought he might have chipped in with a few goals this season from corners, but we haven't been as good from corners this season. I don't think we've scored as many from corners full stop this season, have we?
No, not compared to the amount of corners we've had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, certainly the amount of corners we've had. And I think Ash has had the monopoly on goals from corners, hasn't he? So
as he should.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the awards. Any more for the awards? I think they were pretty good from where I'm sitting. Can't grumble with any of those.
No.
Okay, let's move on to the free game for the playoffs. So we spoke quite a bit last week about, well, I did, we all did, I think, about the season ticket announcement, and I certainly got on my high horse about this recognition, and this free game for the playoffs has shut me right up, I've got to say. But in a good way, I didn't. Wasn't expecting it to be free.
It's not 9/11, Russ. I mean,
what do you mean?
The way you said it shook you up.
I said shut.
Just edit that bit out. That's awful.
Okay. No, it's fucking staying in. No. I'll find a way to keep it in.
We'll save that for the Christmas outtakes show. But yeah, TSBW later, hashtag too hot for TV.
Shall I start that bit again?
Please do, yeah. I'll just sit here and shut the fuck up.
Okay, so
after I said it and you went quiet, I had this thing in my head where I was like, "Oh shit, maybe the missus is right. I'm not fucking funny."
Right, composure.
Right, composure. So I think it's worth mentioning the free game for the playoffs because last week on the pod we spoke extensively. Well, I did. I got on my high horse about it, about some sort of recognition after the season ticket announcement, and now that they've announced that all the tickets for that game for the season ticket holders is free. I mean, that just shut me right up.
Yeah, well, I was completely shaken up by it. See, that sounds like I'm being sarcastic to the club, but it's a little in joke that will never hear the light of day. So, you might get that one at Christmas. You never know. As you were, lads. Yeah, great, a great gesture that's going to cost the club some money because we mentioned it last week, but there are people who've, well, yourselves included, you've bought multiple season tickets, but basically only getting one stream for it, really. So you are out of pocket. So yeah, it's a great gesture, and well done to the co-op as well for being involved in that decision-making process.
Yeah, well done. I did say last week that the club had time to kind of get some kind of recognition or kind of rectify the situation a little bit. And what do you know? A few days later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just like that. A few days later, there we go.
Yeah, well done to all involved though, because it's they obviously didn't have to do it, and they have, and yeah, it's great. Well done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just fantastic, really, isn't it? I mean, I know we said last week, didn't we? Well, I think one of you lads asked me, you know, if I could have a free game, would that do? And I said, well, not really, no, because it's not very thoughtful. But because it's a playoff, and the way they've done it, I think it's really good.
I'll tell you what, mate. Considering you said that it had shut you up, I don't think it has. You've done nothing but bloody rabbit since you talked about this.
So you're getting a free game and you're paying £25 less than someone buying it on the early bird. So there you go. Yeah. 2 games.
Yeah. Happy days.
Banging.
Okay, so it has shut me up. So let's move on. Head of recruitment. So we've had a new, well, not a new head of recruitment. Jonathan Smith has been promoted to head of recruitment. Straight away, I mean, I knew who he was, but straight away I thought, well, what does that mean for Matt Jansen?
Yeah, because we've not seen him mentioned. He was at the Torquay game because they zoomed in on him and mentioned him on the telly, but he wasn't mentioned in the Woking programme. So I'm not sure. Don't know what to tell you, lads.
Yeah, it's kind of one of them things where it's those sort of behind the scenes people that you don't really see, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm just not that arsed. County tell me that it's going to make us better, so that'll do for me. Yeah.
Do you think it's a case of us having so many staff behind the scenes that he's just been forgotten? He's like locked in a cupboard somewhere. He's gone to go and get the bibs and cones and got locked in, and no one's noticed.
With Niall Bell and Mark Kitchen.
Yeah. And Adam Thomas is in there as well.
Adam Thomas.
He's stuck under a medicine ball. He's just a long pair of legs hanging out.
Yeah, what's weirding me out a bit, I wouldn't even say concerning me, but some things get announced, some things don't. So when Matt Jansen, this Jonathan Smith, and the other chap whose name I can't remember got announced, at the start as this is our scouting team, we were like, well, that's great, yeah, thanks, good to know who the scouting team are. There's a bit of a change to it. Okay, we get this announcement, but nothing about any outgoing sort of people. I don't know. To be honest, throughout supporting county, I've never been asked about who the scouts are and them coming in and coming out. But I don't know, if you're going to mention it once, then at least keep it up.
Yeah, it's kind of when we had the goalkeeping coach. Was that mentioned?
No, it wasn't. But we had this discussion at the time, and I think Nick, me, and you disagreed on this. That I don't remember us ever saying that a goalkeeping coach had left before.
I'm sure we did with It was either Felgate or the one
Felgate.
before him, but he left to go to work for City, didn't he?
Mm.
And I definitely remember that being announced. But yeah, like you said, I suppose it depends which owners you've got in charge, because we've had owners in the past where we've complained about the communication. So probably because we weren't hearing about those things. I don't know. I mean, it's not high on my list of
No, I know.
Yeah. It's just nice to know, isn't it?
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention it as an item in the magazine that is the TSBW podcast.
Again, it's those behind the scenes things that I'm just not that bothered about. But thanks to the club, for mentioning it. It's, as you say, some things get mentioned, some don't. Some which people might value a little bit more important than others don't get mentioned. But thank you very much for telling us.
Yeah, I echo that. Thank you. I mean, it didn't need echoing. Your words were strong enough, but yeah, here they are anyway.
Because we'll get onto the co-op meeting minutes in a bit, but it was mentioned on there about updates with injuries and stuff, wasn't it? And they can't mention anything in too much detail for obvious reasons, so they give us as much information as they can.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from as well, especially getting to this point of the season, where you want to get every little advantage you can before the game's played, and that's certainly a place where we can get an advantage. If whoever we play, if Hartlepool or Bromley are going to be second guessing for a couple of weeks about whether Madden's going to play or not, but at the same time, professional footballers, if they're any good, they're going to be able to adapt no matter what situation gets thrown at them. So I suppose it's a bit of a double-edged one, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, I've not looked at the co-op minutes yet. I need to give those a good scan. But if you could tell us the salient points, is there any more than what you just said?
I'll just consult my notes. A moment.
I've slept. I've read it, but I slept since then.
So there was some answers around the question about environmental awareness and park and ride schemes and stuff like that. The club are looking to get something set up in regards to encouraging people to use public transport or alternative transport. So yeah.
How do we feel about that? How do we feel about the park and ride and stuff like that? Is that something that you two would take up?
Yeah, I definitely would. If there was something from, say, the market, Stockport Market, up to the ground before the match.
A little shuttle bus, because there is a shuttle bus that goes round Stockport, it starts at the bus station and goes up to Asda and what have you,
Yeah, I think that'd be a cracking idea. Not to move any trade away from Edgeley. What I'd probably do is go to the market first and then
wobble
get
to
the bus
Edgeley.
to Edgeley. Yeah, exactly. I'd definitely do that.
Yeah. They also mentioned the land around the railway end as well. Someone had asked a question about ownership of that, about the bungalow and various bits of land there. The answer was that it's owned, not by a county, but because it cost too much at the time. Which, considering we're going to probably need that land at some point, is that cost too much at the moment? Are we looking to put a bid in the future? It kind of raises a few more questions. And there was also a little bit about Mark Stott loaning the club money and turning it into equity every 6 months, which is great.
Yeah, that's something that I think the co-op have pledged to keep an eye on as well. I'd imagine a friend of the podcast, Martin Frost, will also be keeping an eye on that, because that's certainly his bag.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. That's a good idea. That was what there were a few more questions than that, but I haven't got the minutes open in front of me. That's just kind of what I got off my notes.
Yeah, they were certainly the main points I picked up from it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good stuff, and hopefully we will get the co-op back on, and they can tell us in a bit more depth, and maybe we can get some questions from listeners.
Yeah,
for them to answer. That'd be nice.
Hello, fellow county fans. I just want to take a moment of your time to tell you about the Scarf Bagara War blog. Each month I bring you my thoughts and reactions to all the latest games and news, plus there's a veritable cornucopia of other articles that are there for your viewing pleasure. check out www.scarfbegarawar.co.uk. Now back to the podcast.
Okay. Back to the playoffs then. And I know we're skitting about a bit here, but I wanted to bring it back to the playoffs every now and again because, it's quite an important time in our season, obviously. Yeah. We've got 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
And Bromley and Hartlepool have 1 week off. Is that good for us? Bad for us? Good for them? Bad for them? How do you see it?
For us, I think it can kind of work both ways, can't it? Because obviously we want Paddy Madden fit and ready to go, and by getting third, we've given him the most amount of time possible. We're giving him an extra week to get fit and ready for the game. But it can work against you in that you are losing a little bit of that match sharpness. We're kind of there's a kind of a little bit of a lull for us now, isn't there? And we're kind of watching from the sofa over the weekend about who we might be playing, and obviously watching Bromley and Hartlepool. And then we've got another week, and you kind of by the time it gets to that point, you kind of lose a little bit of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What do you think the rationale is behind such the long wait? I mean, normally, the Football League they play the following Wednesday, don't they? If in the first leg, and then the weekend after the second leg, and a week later they're all in the finals.
I'm quite happy to field this one. Is that all right with you, Dave? If I field this question?
Absolutely.
Yep. The National League are about as much use as Anne Frank's drum kit. I've covered that. Sorted. Next.
Smooth. You're fucking right, aren't you? It's just tin pottery again, isn't it? Having to wait a full week just to arrange another match. They're all on BT Sport as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Every single one's on BT.
Yeah.
Blimey. So we've been on BT Sport quite a lot this season.
Yeah. And I've not heard anyone saying we're always shit on BT this time round, though. So people have learned.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one because back in the day, the playoffs used to start midweek of the following week after the season finished, and then you were playing in the final like a week and a half later, weren't you? So I don't know why they just couldn't have done it midweek. I've really no idea. You scheduled it in for the week after the season finishes, and then the week after that, and then obviously the final week after that.
The week after that, yeah.
And we've known all along that England are playing on the fucking Sunday, but I'm assuming BT have got a little bit to do with that as well, haven't they? But I'm not letting the league off that easy. It's just we should have been playing the final by next weekend.
Well, exactly. Could that also be the reason why we've been left to play the final at Bristol City? Do you think? Well, from what people have said, there were other grounds in contention ahead of Bristol City. So do you reckon it's a case of it being that late that most clubs will have pulled the pitch up?
Yeah, I think so.
Quite possibly, yeah, quite possibly. I don't know why in today's world, fucking hell, sound like my fucking granddad, don't I? But you get to know who's in the final and then pick a ground based on those two geographically. Something that's a bit equidistant.
Yeah, but again, that's common sense for us.
Well, I know. It's just beyond belief, innit? If it was County v Hartlepool in the final, I don't know, fucking Ellen Road or something.
If only us three were on the National League board, A, this type of shit would get sorted, and B, they'd also have a semi-listenable podcast.
Yeah, there's plenty. There's probably 50 or 60 grounds in the country that we could choose from to hold 25,000-ish, 20,000 at the lower limit. There's plenty of cons about the final being at Bristol and it being in a few weeks as opposed to a little bit sooner. That was it. I wasn't going to elaborate.
Oh right, I'm sorry. I was waiting for something else.
There are plenty of cons, but I can't think of any at the moment. There you go.
I was expecting some sort of deeply personal historical tirade against the people of Bristol for a second there.
No.
All right, well, you save that for after you've stayed there for the final, can't you?
Yeah.
Didn't even put any Lotus biscuits on your pillow.
I might be staying over. I'm trying to hatch a plan at the moment to get the Saturday.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a pass out.
It's quite nice though, isn't it? Because if we do get to the final and we do win it, we go back to Bristol next season, then, don't we? Because Bristol Rovers came down.
Yeah, to see Joey Barton. Imagine he'll probably be in prison by then anyway, won't he? He'll probably have punched some kid on a crazy golf course and got locked up. Or he does. That's the type of thing he does, isn't it? I'd imagine. Is that Joey Barton spends his summer? I don't know. Allegedly.
Thank God you said that. We're not getting.
I've covered everything there.
Okay, let's move it on. It wasn't announced this week by the club, but it was announced by Ashton FC. They're not Ashton United anymore, are they? That we signed a lad.
Milenic Ali. Milenic Ali, which sounds like a font.
Milenic Ali. Nice.
If you're gonna send me a CV, make sure you put it in Milenic Ali, yeah? Please, can you put it in Milenic Ali? Because I'm sick of Times New Roman and Comic Sans. I know Comic Sans screams out fun, but I'm not having it. Milenic Ali all the way.
Milenic Ali 12.
Yeah. Bold.
Anyway, it's kind of the an Alex Curran type signing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it certainly seems to be.
Oh, I've forgotten about him. I forgot about Alex Curran. Then is he still with us?
I think so.
Yeah.
I imagine it. Yeah, good.
Yeah, but he'll be playing in the development team. Or he has been, I think.
Yeah,
and probably will do for the foreseeable. I can't imagine he makes the first team anytime soon, but you never know, do you? Never know what the summer will bring. So
I suppose if it fits that profile of player that Simon Wilson mentioned about those who've been basically on an extended trial ever since their season was stopped. They've been on a 4 or 5 month trial with our development squad, and they'll probably get signed up. So I think there'll be a few more similar to that to come as well. And people will get underwhelmed. There will be people say, well, why are we signing players from Ashton now we've got all this money? It's like, well, you cover both bases. You sign your player, you get your players in who are ready for the first team, and then you hedge your bets by getting some young players in who you can develop. Look at Peterborough.
You should have a job at county, Nick. With that kind of forward-thinking attitude.
Well, I've tried, mate, but I didn't put my CV in Milenic Ali, so they're having none of it.
But it does bode well, doesn't it? So these are all these lads are going into this academy that's starting to grow now and build up. And I think the objective of all this is to get into League One and the Championship, and you've got players coming through possibly that are worth a few quid.
Yeah,
and then you sell them on to keep yourself at that level.
Yeah. And I do hope once we're back in the league, we will continue signing the best players from non-league. As Peter, that's pretty much Peterborough's whole model, isn't it? Peterborough and Brentford do it a fair bit as well, try and sign the best players from non-league and sell them on for silly money. Yeah,
the best young players from non-league.
Yeah,
absolutely. The ones that can still grow as footballers and absolutely, yeah. That's where you're stupid not to, though, aren't you? Because it's cheaper. And there's some proper good players in there that have been blooded. They've played against other men who aren't, they're not playing for under 23s in the Premier League their whole season. For a few years, they've proper been proper players playing, playing against men. So
and you've essentially got a blank canvas as well in terms of what you want to teach them. They're not going to have as many bad habits as a player who's maybe been playing for however long. So it's like a blank canvas. It's just because it's what I do on Football Manager. Maybe that's why I'm biased.
I mean, you see it now with a few players in the England squad who've played in non-league. Obviously, Jamie Vardy's a classic example as well.
Did Jamie Vardy play in non-league?
I believe so.
You'd have thought they'd have mentioned it at some point when he's on the telly and stuff.
Absolutely. So it's worth it because you never know, do you?
Yeah, definitely.
And we've certainly got quite a few sort of well-respected and well-established non-league clubs in the area, haven't we? So we'd be mad not to make some use of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so does anybody know anything about this, the lad Ali?
No.
Okay, moving on.
He used to play for Ashton United.
Hashtag analysis.
Yeah, he's Irish. He's Irish as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Irish as in
from Ireland, over the sea, over there.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but
Big,
it could be
green, white, and orange flag.
Yes, I know, Nick, but he could be Irish like
Tony
Andy
Cascarino.
Townsend. Andy Townsend was Irish, couldn't he?
Oi, Jelly the O's, fucking Irish, mate. Slag. I did see someone on Yellow Board suggest that we'd signed him. It was Paddy Madden who'd recommended him because of being involved with him in the international setup. That was the international setup that Paddy Madden played one game in 8 years ago.
I was going to say, he'd probably been at school, wouldn't he?
So if you think our analysis is shit, get on over to the message boards.
Okay. Should we move on to the England squad that's just been announced?
Yeah.
But before we do that, now's probably a good time to advertise the fact that we will be going all the way through the summer, including the Euros, and we're going to do this preview show as County finished, as we finish our season. We will do preview shows of England matches, and we're going to get some friends of the podcast on to do that with us from other clubs as well, not just County fans. So that should be good, because we know fuck all about England players and players in the Premier League, so we're going to get some fans of those clubs on to help us out with that.
Well, you might know fuck all. I know loads.
Yeah, same, mate. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, me and Dave know it all.
Do you? Oh, but looking forward to quizzing you then.
I've played Football Manager.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've heard there's some lad from South Manchester that's pretty decent. He plays for Manchester.
Cheshire, mate. He's from Cheshire.
Is he? I don't follow it, mate. I don't follow it, so I'm not sure. Could be anyone.
Who's your Premier League team?
Yeah. Come on, Ross. Who's your real team? No, but who's you really support?
Yeah. Do you know what? I've got to tell you this. I was talking to a woman at a do at work, and she supported Liverpool. She was a season ticket holder, and we got talking, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm a season ticket holder." She went, "Who do you support?" And I went, "Stockport County," and she went, "Oh, I like grassroots as well."
Oh, fuck off!
This was a discussion I meant to have the other week when we were talking about the Super League stuff. But yeah, people describing the National League as grassroots can fuck off.
I hope you had butted her, Ross.
No, this was when we were in League Two as well. This was years ago.
Oh,
we were
it's even worse.
I know.
I don't.
In the Football League,
I don't know what to throw. It might just be myself through a window, I think.
What did you say?
I can't remember. I can't remember now what I said. My face must have said it all, to be honest. I don't know.
God.
But anyway, England squad. And what's annoyed me the most about the announcement is not the fact that he's picked 4 right backs in what people are saying, but the fact that Twitter went absolutely mental. Why is he picking 4 right backs? Well, it's not 4 right backs, is it?
No.
One of it, Kyle Walker will. I'm quite happy to put money on the fact Kyle Walker will not play as a right back for England in this tournament. Kyle Walker is a centre back in a 3. He's Harry Maguire's legs.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like people going mental. I mean, we're not in the days of people playing in one position anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell. I mean, we've seen it with County. Players are interchangeable, and just because you have 3, 4, 5 right-sided players doesn't mean they're all going to fucking be playing right back.
I mean, Trippier in the last year or so, most of his England appearances have come at left back. So versatile.
Trent Alexander-Arnold's another one who can play right midfield, right wing. It's just why do people just think that just because they're so blinkered and they're definitely going to be playing right back, which they're clearly not.
And this whole thing, there seems to be, I think, amongst Liverpool fans that Trent Alexander-Arnold's being victimised when they were suggesting he won't be in the squad. Well, no, he's a world-class right back. There's just 3 right backs who are in better form than him and are also English. Because how can you argue that? I mean, 2 of those, Walker and James, were both in the Champions League final, and Trippier has just won La Liga. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say victimised. That's fucking ridiculous. But he wasn't very good earlier in the season. Okay, that was compounded by the team he was playing in weren't very good or weren't on form. But the form that they hit towards the end, I think that's the reason why he snuck in.
Well, because apparently Southgate told him 3 weeks ago he was in the squad. So it's just been, for the last 3 weeks, it's just been the media stirring stuff up. They normally wait until the tournament starts to start trying to stick their oar in, but they've begun already. I don't think our media's learned anything since Southgate has been in charge. I just don't. I think we went into the last World Cup with humility, not expecting to do anything, and went on to fall in love with a lot of players that we thought we never would do. We did well, and it just seems like the media have regressed again. And there's. Well, I'm sure we can work out who the de facto whipping boys will be. I'm sure if we made a list now, they'd probably all have the same ones on there. But yeah, it's just tiresome, innit? Before the football's even started, there's just drama. They have to manufacture drama, and have no time for it.
Yeah, this is the reason why I don't buy newspapers, and very rare. I'll watch Sky Sports News every now and again. I get most of my football news from you two lads, so I'm quite happy with that.
But you don't even need to read, because when you watch Sky Sports News now, it'll say Sky sources are reporting, and Sky sources are usually the fucking Sun. So it's like you don't need to read a paper. It's just you can't avoid it anyway. The papers are going to get the bullshit to you. I sound like a proper conspiracy theorist now. They're putting it in the air. They're putting stuff in. They're putting it in the pipes and the taps.
How's that tinfoil hat working out?
David Icke told me.
Well, going back to the squad, it's just very, very talented, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it before with the mid sort of 2000s team that it doesn't always equal success if you have a load of talented players. But it just looks really good, doesn't it? If you just look at that squad, it's just like fucking hell. If we could, play a decent style of football, and we had a manager that didn't seem to be about defence first, it'd just be fucking great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If those players were any other nationality, well, any other decent footballing nationality, Italian or Spanish or whatever, they'd be fucking winning everything in sight.
Yeah.
I just think that as much as I like Gareth Southgate, I just think his style that he tries to get his players to play is just a little bit reserved.
I agree completely with that, but the only thing I don't know who they'd replace him with.
Yeah, good point.
That's the only thing. Yeah. As much I do like it, but yeah, if there was an attacking manager but is there? I don't know. I think Eddie Howe's stock has kind of fallen. I think in his last year or so at Bournemouth before he left there. Is Sean Dyche the type of manager who'd do well in a national job? I don't know.
Not with that kind of talented England squad.
No,
I think he might be a little bit out of his depth.
I mean, Mourinho would jump at it, but he wouldn't now. He's at Roma now. But Mourinho always said he'd like to manage England. That's a no from me.
Jim Gannon's out of work.
Yeah, that'd go down well, wouldn't it?
There you go.
He'd be better than McLaren.
It's a tough one, that, isn't it? I mean, he's not out of the job yet, is he? So let's give him that. But who next? It's a really tough one. Yeah, like you say, Eddie Howe was probably the one off the first name on my list. But like you say, his reputation's gone down, hasn't it?
Yeah, he needs to get back in club management and think. And he's just turned down the Celtic job, hasn't he?
Wonder if Gerrard might be good one day. If he comes into the Prem maybe and does something there decent there, he could be one lined up for it.
I really want Lampard to take the Celtic job, and then we can finally once and for all see if Gerrard and Lampard can manage in the same city, because they certainly couldn't play in the same fucking team.
Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, what a manager! I'm a big fan of the Bren dog.
Yeah,
I like
he'd
Brendan.
do well.
Yeah, not English though, is he? That's the problem.
Give a shit. Neither was Ericsson
Yeah, exactly.
or Capello.
See, I did enjoy stuff under Ericsson. I did enjoy it. It was always enjoyable, but there was never a sense we were going to win anything. And I think the players probably thought the same as well. I'd imagine.
It was enjoyable until it wasn't.
Yeah, that's yeah, like most things. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's the podcast title sorted.
absolutely. Yeah, if something was once enjoyable, then becomes unenjoyable, then yes, it isn't enjoyable anymore.
God, you're deep, mate. You're deep.
Fucking hell, need to lie down. I mean, at least under Ericsson, we were better than we were under McLaren, anyway.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That actually coincided with my height of my England supporting time when I used to pay a lot of money to go and watch him abroad when McLaren was manager. So I've never forgiven him.
Well, we're very much looking forward to this with the Euros podcast, Dave, because you've got a unique insight. Me and Russ were discussing this yesterday behind your back. And, we had a chat about this and we said, yeah, you've got an insight that we don't have. I've only ever been to one England game, so yeah.
So yeah, going back to the talent in the squad, then I mean, I'm really excited to see Foden play, Jude Bellingham as well, Sancho. Like you say, there's some proper talent in that squad, isn't there? Yeah, and Foden's just off the chart. He really is. I saw some stats of his the other day. At his age compared to Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard at the same ages, and his trophies won, games played, goals scored, and assists is just far superior than those three. So yeah, I just hope he plays him, and B, Foden steps up on the stage and does something.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of seen it before with extremely talented young players, haven't we?
Look at Rooney in 2004.
Yeah, I know.
If you can get the right system, you can get the right manager, then great. All those kind of things align. Then brilliant. Yeah, he will do really, really well, and will probably, fingers crossed, win us something someday. Yeah, but like you say, with Rooney. And also from that same team, Paul Scholes as well. Ericsson couldn't find that right position for him, and we've seen it before with a lot of talented players that they don't quite do as well for England, simply because the manager, the system, the players around him aren't as good.
Agreed. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. And like I say, we will be having podcasts throughout June and July and up to, till county start playing friendlies, which are probably being organised as we speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in the National League, we'll start playing friendlies in about September, won't we?
So yeah, should be good. Loads of stuff to look forward to. I think you mentioned it before. I think it was you, Dave, mentioned our Sunday game in the playoff does coincide with or potentially overlap with England playing Croatia.
Yeah,
could be tricky if we go to extra time. But I think I'm with quite a lot of county fans that are in the mindset that it's county first until that sort of phases out.
Yeah, I'd always been roughly 50-50, but over the last 5 years or so, I think I'm sort of 70-30 county now.
Yeah. Well, it's unprecedented, isn't it, that we're having to watch playoffs, or we're having to watch county in the domestic league while England are playing in a tournament.
It's mental, isn't it?
It is weird.
It is absolutely mental, yeah. So
yeah, because normally you get like a good few weeks between the end of the season and the tournament starting, probably a little bit longer than that. But our season won't even hopefully our season won't even finished.
Yeah. Our final game will be on the 20th of June when we're celebrating going up, and I think the
Wales that day.
Yeah, and I think the group stage is for us. Don't they finish that weekend?
Yeah,
we played it. We play the 13th, the 18th,
22nd.
22nd. So we're into knowing who we've got in the knockouts if we get that far, and County will have just finished in the playoffs. It's just bonkers. It really is.
And my birthday is June the 25th as well, listeners. So put that in your diary and come round and give me the bumps.
You're all right, mate. Not after last time.
Good stuff. Right, I think that's a good place to stop it. Don't forget, you can still read Dave's blog. Access on the website, or you can get there's a pinned tweet and a pinned Facebook post as well with all of our links on that. Fan Hub is still going. I say it's still going. It's going to go forever. We're actually on 98 downloads of Fan Hub.
It's flying up.
Yeah. So this very embryonic app that we've subscribed to, that we're part of. I think the highest is Portsmouth. I think they're about 350 downloads. But yeah, so keep on looking out for those golden tickets. If you've got one,
clock shagging,
share it. If you've got a golden ticket, share it with your mates and that, and let's start getting people in there. All of our content is all in one place on the app, ad free, and hopefully that app will grow and build, and you'll get your own fan points for checking into the ground and doing team lineups and stuff like that once that all becomes available. Okay, anything from you guys more to say?
I've got nothing more to say ever again after my earlier slip up.
No, nothing from me.
Right, in that case then, you will listen to us next week. Thanks for listening. Ta-da now.
Bye.
Bye.